So the near-death experience happened before Bali, before I went into this whole spiritual awakening. That was actually what catapulted me going into Bali. So that was about, oh my goodness, I think 8, 9 years ago. And I was just going over for Christmas, or a little bit after Christmas, I think, to see my family in North Carolina. I was living in LA at the time. And at the time, I was a waitress at a very beautiful hotel at the beach. And I was a little bit into yoga, but it wasn't like I was a yoga teacher or anything like that. Or was I? No, actually, I was. I was already like in my yoga teacher trainings because Bali was another training for me. But I just living in LA, doing my thing, interested in yoga because it connected me to my body. And then my family asked me to flew into North Carolina to see them for a little bit after the holidays. And I was in my plane, just doing my thing. We had gone to cruising altitude and I was just relaxing and just excited for my vacation. And all of a sudden, there was like through the intercom, there was an announcement. The captain comes on and he says, "We're having technical difficulties and we are going down." I was like, "What?" I'm sorry, did I hear that correctly? So I look over towards the guy who's sitting next to me. We just look at each other like, that can't be true, can it? All of a sudden we see the flight attendants panicking a little bit. People just, their voice just went a little bit loud, and what is happening, nobody knows. But what really made it real, it was like the pressure under my feet changed instantly. Like the drop in temperature or the drop in pressure changed so fast because the plane went from going straight to going slightly down for real in a second. So I felt the change in pressure in my feet, and we're like, we are actually going down. This is for real. And this is what it is. So looking out the window, okay, it seems like we're getting closer to the ground by the second. And it was about 7 minutes that we went from cruising altitude towards the earth. So it was like really fast. And in those 7 minutes, like my whole life just played before my eyes. What I have done, what I haven't done, what I didn't. First of all, is denial of this cannot be happening. Then you go into, okay, now that is happening, what did I do? And what did I not do? So a lot of I love yous that I didn't say, a lot of conversations that I wish I would have had, a lot of commitments that I wish I would have taken, a lot of, oh my God, I could have done so much more with my life. That was it. That was it. It was so short. It was like a short of a second. I could have done this. I could have done that. Oh my goodness. I wanted to do that and I didn't. And then all of a sudden you really get to a point where it's when you look in the window and you're like, we are close to the ground and I don't know what's going to happen. That's it. This is it. So I look at the guy next to me just for our last goodbyes to each other. We just nodded towards each other. I close my eyes. I put on the seatbelt really close or really tight and just closed my eyes and I surrendered. And I was like, and right before that surrender, I was like, but if I get another chance at this game, I promise I'll make it the best. I promise to myself I will make it the best because I know I will be back in this place. When I'm back in this place, I want to have a different movie playing in front of me. Okay. That's it. Close my eyes. I felt like everybody in that beautiful surrender of there's things that we cannot control, and that's just the way that it is. That's the fragility of life. So close my eyes. It was a very horrible landing, horrible emergency landing. I remember very little of that whole thing. When we get out, we actually made it, right? Of course, I'm here. So we get out, everybody's getting out, anxiety, there's panic attacks, there's a lot of loud noise. It was very, at the time, traumatizing. But then afterwards, I remember telling everybody, like when I get out of the plane, like I almost just died. Like we were alive. Like this could end any minute. Like my awareness of the fragility of life and the preciousness of every moment, I noticed that people didn't really get it. I was like, they're really not seeing it to the degree that I am. So I really hope that as I heal through this very traumatic event, that I am able to transfer this sacredness of this second choice and second, like another go at it, like this chance, the second chance that I got. So ever since, that's when I went to Bali. I did all the trainings that I wanted to do. I worked with all the healers, with all the shamans. I said yes to building my company. I opened my company. I did my thing. I was able to trust myself. I was able to lead. I was able to play, because it was just it literally was a different playground from that specific moment when I was like, what if this is it?
This is such a powerful transmission.
Thank you for allowing me and for inviting me.
Yeah, you cannot know how it feels to be in the energy until you're coming to the energy. And so many people do think about life as a gift, and still the context of experiencing life as a gift and the depth of understanding that this is literally a manifestation of potential energy we get to experience.
There is something that I do ever so often ever since that experience, and it's, again, anytime I am slightly disconnected to this preciousness of life, when I am in doubt, when I am in fear, when I am clouded and I really cannot connect at that moment to the bigger picture, I come back to, what if this is it? And you will notice that we can always find acceptance to what is. That's just what it is. Like, you will always find acceptance to, okay, this is what I've done, this is what it is. But we always have the choice to not have no regrets. We will find acceptance, but the regrets of not having those chances are the ones that sting a little bit more. So I always have this practice, or ever since I had this practice of, ever so often, every 6 months, every year, sometimes I go a year and a half, and I sit with myself and I ask myself, what if this is it? Would I do something different? Would I choose something different? Would I show up? What are the things that I would stop doing, and what are the things that I would do if this was it? And always find acceptance with the now, because we can always move forward when we are in full acceptance to what is. Because if we're trying to change what is from a place of disempowerment, from a place of victimhood, it takes a lot of our energy, and it's not necessary to create something different. So it's always, I'm in acceptance. This is it. This is it. I am it. Now what? What do I choose differently? What would I do differently? What do I want to get rid of? And that really clears so much so fast when we ask ourselves the question, but truly ask yourself the question,
Yeah.
what if today ends?
Yeah. And again, I know how precious this question is. And I feel that one of the things that would be good to cultivate is a way to lead others who haven't had this standing at the portal, so they haven't felt this. For me, I had to go through the experience of a complete renunciation of my life. And that was by choice. I feel that one of the reasons that I have so much respect to free will, and that this is like one of the biggest tools that I am using in my life, in my leadership, and in my creation, and like really even a deeper level of surrendering through understanding free will and giving free will to whatever you created to be, what it wants to be. You are the same. In our previous conversation, one of the beautiful sentences you said, I am not it, it is through me. I don't have that, I allow it, right? So I feel that as such, I echo with that description, of course, and I also feel myself that my creation is passing through me. My child is passing through me. My channeling is passing through me. My methodologies are passing through me. But then for the people, the listeners that do not have that experience in their life where they needed to face this moment of full surrender, whether it is, in my case, it was by choice, but it was like such a full renunciation of everything, or in your case, which is not conscious choice, then I wonder what you can, if you have something from your light that you can elaborate on this sentence when you say, but really bring yourself fully. Yes, but how can one bring himself fully to that moment of saying, okay, what if this is it?
So here's one thing that comes through as you speak is a lot of the times we put ourselves in limitations of, if I'm not there, then I can't be really experience it. But this word I can't, it's interesting because we are actually, our emotions are as alive as we experience things that happened years ago and we're here. That's called trauma. So our emotions have the ability to play something that's not necessarily happening. So we're not really constricted to a specific place or a specific situation. The first thing to be able to put ourselves in that space of really put yourself in that space is to know that you can. If you don't think that it's possible for you to experience something that's not in front of you, then you won't be able to access it. But once you are in a space where you say, I am actually able to put myself in any state because that's my physiologically, we are able to do that. Through a movie, we can feel the death of somebody that's not even related to us that we didn't even know about half an hour ago. And we're crying about it. It really hurts. So we are so powerful and we forget that. So the moment you know that you're able to put yourself in situations to feel a feeling that you've never felt before, it's the moment you're going to be able to access it. So that's the first thing to know. My emotions are able to get there. Is it going to be scary? Yes. Is it going to be challenging? Yes. Is it going to take me a little bit to get there? Absolutely. But you can. You can do that through meditations. There is death meditations that you can move through. But I always recommend to have somebody, if you're really going to be in that moment, to have somebody there with you to guide you through that full surrender.
Yeah. I add also for the listeners, I add my perspective around it as well.
Yes.
Which is, as long as we are attached to the storytelling, we move from the heart experience of the true energy. Because we cannot ignore the level of attentiveness that was in the space. Like if someone would be able to measure the energy in our conversation, when you were speaking about your near-death experience, that was the only thing that existed. And there were no ribbons of storytelling about who I am, what I am. Although you described, I've seen my life, I made like some resolution and went through all of that. But still, it was all concentrated in that massive aliveness that is pure energy, free from storytelling. Although you were telling a story, I hope that I'm sure you understand me, and I hope that the people who are listening can also get that. It's like constantly, every single day, prefer the naked truth before you added storytelling on it. Prefer the raw energy and the aliveness in the raw energy, in your breath, in your move, in the way that you hold. Bring the way that you hold a pencil yourself into those moments. I feel that is such an important place to decide on your daily life to go away from the storytelling. You get me?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much for adding this massive download.
Thank you. I feel like it wanted to come through one way or another, so it found its way. And I think I was a few months back in Jamaica being a facilitator for a retreat of incredible people. And one of the things that I've noticed throughout this in-person event and moving through people that have incredible, powerful positions in society, and the simplicity of it, what does actually activate something within us that is sustainable and that will stay, and is the somatics of feeling something that's alive out of the head into the body. Of one of the biggest things that we took when as a facilitator and also for the participants was this idea of, this is it. And you can bring that in every moment. It's so simple. This is it. As you say, outside of the storytelling, this is it. It is in the cup that I'm sipping. It is in the light that's coming through. It is in this experience right now.
Immerse in the now, immerse in the experience, and practice People are saying, but I don't know how to do it. Start and you fall in love with it. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Maya, for having me.